Hi there. This is a talk-through recording of our grad writing consultant hiring info session. We held these info sessions live synchronously through Zoom, but we didn't record those. I'm recording over this content so that you can access it asynchronously. And so I'll give you the same information that we covered in the live info sessions in this recording talk through. So this video is all about our grad writing consultant hiring campaign for spring 2021. We're hiring for the following academic year, so that's fall 2021 through spring 2022. Plus, we have short summer appointments, so those would be about 12 to 15% appointments for one summer session. That's just to get new consultants trained in the summer before the fall quarter starts. So it also includes a small appointment in the summertime as well. So I'll go through the information that we reviewed in our hiring info sessions, and just please take note of any questions that you have. You can always reach out to us at the Writing Hub at writinghub@ucsd.edu with those questions that we don't answer in this presentation. Okay, so getting started, here's what you can expect from this presentation recording. I'll go over the Writing Hub, just generally an overview of who we are and what we do. I'll overview the grad writing consultant position and what grad writing consultants do. Excuse me. I'll talk through some relevant hiring information for this quarter, some to give you a sense of what's on the application, what our hiring timeline is. And then in the live session, we had time for Q&A. In this recorded asynchronous version, you'll have time to think your thoughts and be invited to send us an email. All right, getting started. I'll say on each page, if you see something here that says learn more online, I've directed your attention to the relevant webpage on the Writing Hub website where you can find more information about that topic. So pay attention to any time you see this at the bottom corner of the slide, because that'll give you a sense of where you can go to learn more. So just a quick overview of the Writing Hub. You may or may not be already familiar with what we do, but the Writing Hub is the campus serving writing center for UCSD, and we're one of 6 hubs within the Teaching and Learning Commons. The Writing Hub is pretty special because we work with everyone on campus. We work with a lot of different kinds of campus stakeholders and constituencies. So our programs include resources for undergraduate students, and we have a team of about 35 to 45 undergraduate writing tutors in any given quarter. We also, of course, have several programs for graduate students, which I'll overview later in this presentation. And for that, we have a team of about 15 graduate student writing consultants that work with other grad students. And we also work with faculty. We work with faculty to develop high quality writing assignments that promote writing as a tool for learning. We work with faculty in their roles as graduate advisors and program chairs. So we have a lot of different kinds of things that we do. We're a pretty big operation. We serve thousands of students every year and have thousands and thousands of appointments and engagements in our workshops and stuff. But we do that with just 5 professional staff. So we have a very dense and busy organization, and that's a little bit about the Writing Hub. What you need to know as a potential applicant to be a grad writing consultant is what we prioritize and what we really value. So in the Writing Hub, we really value and emphasize peer-to-peer interaction. So our graduate writing consultants only work with other graduate students. Likewise, our undergraduate consultants work with undergraduate students. We really try to emphasize and protect this peer-to-peer interaction. We think it's really valuable for students to have a space where they can interact in a supportive, non-judgmental manner with a peer, someone who is not an authority figure. So we try to cultivate that peer-to-peer support in a lot of what we do. In writing consultants, we try to, as much as we can, empower the student that we're working with to make their own choices. We try to emphasize choices and agency over sort of a unthinking application of rules. So we try to prioritize clarity and the impact over correctness. What we try to do in writing consultations is to create a space for the student to articulate what they really care about, what they value, and what they want to say. And then as a writing consultant, we'll work with that student to see what their options are for communicating that message really clearly and impactfully. We don't edit papers, we don't proofread papers. We let the student maintain complete ownership and control over their drafts 100% of the time. And in this interaction, in this peer-to-peer conversation, what we're doing is trying to help students to find their own way to success. So we ask students what they would want for this piece of writing, for this writing project to be successful, what it will look like for them to feel success with the writing project. And we try to help them and support them along that journey. We're also trying to help students find and cultivate their own voice and to feel like authoritative figures in their own texts and in their own drafts. So a lot of what we do is about supporting the student where they are, supporting them holistically and mindfully, and engaging with them to make choices through supportive peer-to-peer conversation. Okay, so how do we work with graduate students? I'll say a quick overview of all of our programs for graduate students. I'll say though first that everything we do for graduate student rests on the foundation of individual peer-to-peer writing consultations. So we have a team of grad writing consultants, as I've described, and every single writing consultant is available for one-on-one peer consultation. So students can self-select their own appointment. They go online to our scheduling portal. They pick the consultant who is available when they're available and maybe has the expertise or background that they're looking for. And they make their own appointment with that grad consultant. And then the grad consultant meets with them and does all the things I just described in the previous slide. The individual peer writing consultants the peer writing consultations are the foundation of everything that we do. They are our bread and butter. They are the thing that we really care about and emphasize. We care about a lot of the other programs that we have too, but the peer writing consultation is the supportive understructure. It's the thing that every other program is built on. Every program we do in the Writing Hub is aimed to get more students making appointments for one-on-one consultations so that they can get that individualized, personalized peer support that we really believe in and value. So we want students who are doing and participating in our other programs to be going on and making those appointments so that they can bring their drafts in progress, so that they can brainstorm, so that they can get another set of eyes and have a sounding board for ideas. We want every student who engages with us to also engage in a one-on-one consultation at some point because we find it so valuable. So everything we do rests on first this availability of grad writing consultants working one-on-one with graduate student writers. But then from that foundation, we've built a suite of really diverse programs. And the reason why we have so many different programs for graduate students is because grad school lasts a long time and grad students are really diverse and they come from really diverse backgrounds, not just in terms of social backgrounds or social identity backgrounds, but also disciplinary backgrounds and interests and motivations and career aspirations. And so we try to build programs that can meet a lot of different kinds of graduate students where they are and support them throughout their graduate school trajectory. And that's a pretty long time. So for example, we have workshops that we offer for new incoming graduate students on key essential writing topics that we wish we knew when we were starting grad school. We also offer a number of department partnerships. So we will jointly hire a graduate writing consultant with an academic department. That writing consultant then splits their time and is half the time available at the Writing Hub for one-on-one consultations and workshops, and then also builds programs and resources in their local department to meet their colleagues and their department peers where they are with their writing projects. We have a Friday weekly workshop series, so we cover a lot of different workshops and workshop topics in those Friday workshops, and those workshops are designed and run by graduate writing consultants. Our writing retreats are 5-session programs. Sometimes we run them 5 weeks, other times we run them 5 days, but there are 5 intensive sessions that help graduate students foster some community and compassion in the writing process. The aim of the writing retreat is to develop regular, sustainable, and positive writing habits. Our writing room is a drop-in service that we offer every day. So this is, at least in the remote environment, a Zoom, but in the in-person environment is actually a space set up in the Teaching and Learning Commons. And this writing room just provides daily time, space, and gentle accountability for grad students to come and work together on whatever they're working on. We hope it's writing, but if it's not writing, okay, it's just a time and space for folks to come together and work in the community of peers. We also run a dissertation writers retreat, AKA the Dissertation Writers Workshop, which is a combination of just-in-time information about the dissertation and what the dissertation is and some strategies for navigating the dissertation, as well as intensive writing time, like our writing retreats. And then finally, in the spring, we're launching a new program, which is a series of workshops as well as a writing group for graduate students and postdocs who are preparing to go on the academic job market. And in each of these programs, again, we try to direct participants back to the writing consultations. We want students who engage with any of these workshop topics, writing retreats, coming to the writing room, or working on their dissertation. We want them to go and get writing consultations one-on-one, because that's where they'll get the supportive peer-to-peer conversation, the personalized, individualized support that they might be looking for that we just can't offer in a group-based program. Okay, so what do grad writing consultants do? I've just gone through our programs, what we offer. Here's how grad writing consultants contribute to all of this. First of all, every grad writing consultant, no matter what their appointment level, is going to do at least these two things. Let me first pause to say we offer a variety of different kinds of employment appointments. So grad students can work at the Writing Hub anywhere from 12.5% to 15%, which is about 5 or 6 hours a week, all the way up to 50% appointments, which is about 20 hours per week. Depending on the kind of employment appointment the grad consultant has, that's going to shape the kind of responsibilities that they have. But all grad writing consultants, regardless of their appointment level, are going to do at least these two things. So every grad writing consultant is going to be available to provide one-on-one consultations for a minimum of 4 hours per week. And if that 4 hours per week is the majority of their weekly employment time, okay, that's great. If it's not the majority, then we sort of scale up from there, up to 20 hours per week. So in addition to providing one-on-one writing consultations, as I've described previously throughout this presentation, we really invest in the training and development of the grad consultants. So grad consultants undergo mandatory training and development activities. So that is going to look like a weekly meeting. Generally, those have been on Thursdays at 9 a.m. We also have an annual orientation. So that's generally in week 0 of fall quarter. All grad writing consultants are brought together to meet each other and to engage in some training and development activities before the year officially starts. During the quarter, most grad consultants will also have peer-to-peer observations as well as quarterly development projects. So this quarter, that looks like a critical discourse analysis of a handful of mentor texts. So if you make an appointment with a grad writing consultant, you can ask them, how's your mentor text analysis going? And they should be able to talk to you about it. And then, of course, as I mentioned at the beginning, we will, for new consultants, also have a summer training program. So we'll try to get new consultants hired this quarter up to speed in the summer so that by the time we have our fall orientation with the entire consultant team, the new cohort will already have some training and development activities already underway. So they'll be more prepared to start in the fall. So this is what all consultants do, regardless of their appointment level. Grad writing consultants who are hired at 25% or more will also become stewards of some program or set of services. So if you're at 25% or more, we'll have a grad consultant do a workshop or two in the quarter in addition to running their writing consultations. We might have the grad consultant develop or run a couple of writing retreats or help out with a dissertation workshop, but we will assign a program or an aspect of the program to that consultant, and that consultant stewards that thing that quarter. And so in the application, you'll be asked if you want what your appointment level would be and what kind of program you might like to facilitate if you were hired as a grad writing consultant. And grad consultants who are hired at 50% or more, we provide a lot of responsibility for them to develop new resources. So for example, the new grad student workshop series that I overviewed in the previous slide, that was developed by a couple of 50% grad writing consultants. So 50% grad writing consultants are doing a combination of helping to run existing things and improve those resources and keep them going, but will also invest them with authority and responsibility to develop a new resource, to develop a new program, a new service, and to be given responsibility to run that service well. That, of course, is done with the support of the Writing Hub professional staff. We won't just leave a grad consultant on their own to make it happen, but they're given substantial responsibility, and a 50% position at the Writing Hub is a solid amount of work for each quarter. Okay, so I've just overviewed what the grad consultants do. Now I'm going to offer a few quick thoughts on why you should consider joining the grad writing consultant team. If you've worked with a grad writing consultant already, you might have a sense of what kind of benefits there are to working for the Writing Hub, but I'll just go through them really briefly here. So first of all, the grad writing consultant team is something that we really invest in, and we want to invest in the strengths and support of our grad consultants and support them to grow and deepen in this role. If you think about it, it's really in my interest and in the Writing Hub's interest to support our grad consultants and to keep them, because we invest so much in our grad consultants training and development. So for that, we try to make the Writing Hub a really rewarding and engaging place to work. We will talk with grad consultants about their interests, about their where they want to grow, what they want to learn more about, what they feel their strengths are, and we try to align grad consultants with their interests and their strengths. So we try to invest in that, and we want each grad consultant to grow with us year after year, or at least quarter after quarter as they're in the Writing Hub. We want them to grow into and deepen their role and expertise in the Writing Hub. I'll also say that the grad writing team, the grad consultant team, is a small community within the Writing Hub. As I mentioned, we have generally anywhere between 45 and 60 student staff, student employees in any given quarter. And the grad writing consultant team is a small community within that. So I try to create space for grad consultants to bond, to learn together. Again, that's beneficial because a team that feels safe together and a team that feels like they can bring questions and confusions to each other is going to be a team that works better for the students that we serve. So I try to invest in creating time for the graduate consultants to have community, to share with each other, so that way we can have honest and frank conversations about the consultations and how they're going, programs that we're running and how we can improve them, all in the interest of not just creating this small community, but that from that small community and from that positive community, we can sort of ripple outward and create a positive environment for the students we interact with. The Writing Hub is also really deeply committed to advancing institutional equity, including racial equity, and advancing educational justice. We take that really seriously, and we see what we're doing at the Writing Hub as part of a way to make the institution work better for historically underserved students and students who are not represented broadly in the faculty or even the graduate student population. So we have a combination of actions, intentions, and practices that we intentionally and actively cultivate, including in the grad writing consultant team. And what we're trying to do is not only make the institution more just and serve students that it traditionally hasn't served very well, we're also trying to empower students to use writing as a source of control, as a source of agency, as a source of resistance and identity. So we really take writing and the possibility for writing as kind of liberatory practice. We take that very seriously. We take our role in reproducing institutional inequality and also disrupting and diverting institutional inequality. We take that role really seriously, and we train our grad writing consultants accordingly. So all of our grad writing consultants are expected to engage in development activities that help them understand institutional equity, help them understand racial equity in the institution as well, so that they know how to engage properly with the students that they serve. Additionally, as a grad writing consultant, you would grow as a writer, thinker, scholar, and person. And I do mean all of those separately. We hear from our grad writing consultants all the time that not only did their writing and their thinking get better because they were engaging with more writing more complex arguments from a variety of disciplines that they wouldn't have naturally encountered in their department. That improved their scholarship and their understanding of their own research and how to frame their own research work. But also working one-on-one with a graduate student writer takes a lot of humility, takes a lot of careful, empathetic listening. Meeting a student where they are means understanding where the student is in a really holistic way. And so it also improves sort of personal skills of listening with care and empathy, measuring what kind of response the student or the person seems to need, and then calibrating that accordingly into your own response. And all of that just sort of helps you grow as a person in the world. And then finally, being a grad writing consultant is a really valuable professional experience. It gets you really concrete, tangible skills that you can put on a CV or a resume. And being a writing consultant is a kind of immediately recognizable position with immediately recognizable skills to a lot of different employers, including academic employers. Okay, so what are we looking for in our grad writing consultants? First of all, we're looking for a capacity to be molded into an effective and empathetic peer-to-peer consultant. So that means we're looking for folks who recognize the strengths that they have, but also recognize the areas that they can grow and the ways that they can develop and improve. That takes a lot of humility, but it also takes a kind of hopeful openness, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for folks who have demonstrated student-centeredness. So even if that's student-centeredness in working with undergraduates, that's also fine. But what it means is sort of awareness to be student-centered and to ground your work and what you do and the choices you make and the practices you employ. What it means to ground all of that in the student and the student's experience. We're looking for some awareness of what that means. And then of course, we're looking for folks who are willing to employ a holistic and inclusive mindset. So we're not necessarily looking for folks who are interested in preserving the gatekeeping of academic discourse and preserving the sort of rule-bound structures of lots of different writing. We're looking for folks who want to make academic discourse more inclusive to more kinds of people and use a kind of holistic awareness of who people are, who graduate students are, and the kinds of experiences that they've had. They bring that to their work. So we're looking for that as well. Of course, we are a writing center and our writing consultants work with a lot of different kinds of writing projects. So we're looking for folks who have a solid understanding of academic writing and revising. So this could be in the form of you having completed writing projects yourself, but also in the form of participating in writing workshops and writing groups in your department, or providing sort of peer-to-peer support for your colleagues on their drafts and maybe their fellowship applications. So we're especially looking for folks who have experience reading and writing in a variety of genres. If you're in a doctoral program, this has probably already happened, even if you don't think of it like that. You're probably already familiar with reading and writing in terms of personal documents like personal statements, teaching statement, as well as research documents such as research proposals, research articles, as well as other kinds of genres like fellowship applications, book reviews, conference presentations, abstracts, etc. We're really looking for folks who are willing to explore and work with writing conventions of different fields and disciplines. We're the campus serving writing center. So that means students from all across the campus will make appointments with our grad writing consultants. So we're really looking for folks who have an interest and a curiosity about how writing works in other disciplines and are intrigued by the possibility of working with a lot of different kinds of disciplines, even though that is a challenging thing to do. It's challenging to work with writing conventions outside of your disciplinary environment, but we're looking for folks who are willing to take on that challenge and excited to do so. Because we're here to support graduate students in the long term, from the moment they start graduate school all the way through when they defend their dissertation, we're looking for folks who have that kind of interest in supporting students in their long-term development. And I would say folks who are interested in supporting students more than they're interested, maybe not more, but equally as they're interested to working with writing and words on the page. We think the words on the page are really important. Obviously, writing is critical for graduate student success, but we try to be student-centered in our approach and remember that we're not here to work with writing, we're here to work with writers. And so if we're looking for folks who recognize that and have an interest in supporting students' long-term development as writers, in addition to helping the words on the page work well and have high impact. And of course, if you're interested in creating spaces and practices towards educational equity, if you're interested in seeing how social justice can be brought into higher ed and brought into graduate education, and creating spaces and programs where social justice is valued and we create alignment between justice efforts and our day-to-day work and our day-to-day practices, we are definitely looking for you. And then, of course, aligned with all of this is we're looking for folks who are open, curious, humble, and express a commitment to learning and growing. It's really difficult to provide peer-to-peer writing consultations at the graduate level for so many different kinds of students and for so many different kinds of disciplines. It's really, really challenging to do that. But at the same time, it's very rewarding. So we're looking for folks who are interested in growing and learning in this role. Okay, so how do you know if you qualify to be a grad writing consultant? Well, I'll just sort of go over a few things. We're looking for folks who have success in graduate level coursework and writing projects. This is going to include at least 1 year of experience with graduate level writing. So we will look to academic history to see what kinds of coursework you've done and your sort of general proficiency in your graduate level coursework. And of course, we'll look to your CV for any kind of writing projects that you've done. In your CV for this application, you should consider including writing projects that are in progress, not necessarily only publications. We're looking for folks who have a wide variety of experiences with different kinds of writing projects. So you can feel free to include all of it in your CV. We're looking for people who have experience with writing and reading a variety of academic genres or in different fields and disciplines. So if you have any experiences that speak to that, perhaps courses you've taken, workshops you've participated in, or if you're in a field of study that's rather multidisciplinary, include that somewhere in your application so that we can see it. Of course, we're looking for folks who are able to attend our weekly training, our quarterly staff meetings, and our orientations. We'll ask about that at the interview stage of the process. Grad consultants need to commit to working at the Writing Hub at least 5 hours a week. Again, that's so that the consultant can maintain 4 hours of weekly one-on-one consultation time, as well as attend the Thursday meeting. And then, of course, as academic student employees, all grad consultants must maintain full-time student status. So we cannot accept applicants who are on a leave of absence. They need to maintain good academic standing and sufficient time to degree progress. Because this is an academic student employment position, the grad consultant position will need to be approved by your home department and your academic advisor. And so they'll sort of have to sign off that you're in good standing, you're a full-time student, and you have a good time to degree, and that this position won't derail your education. Okay, so here's what you can expect to see on the application. I'll go over a little bit of this just broadly. So there's some basic info like your name and phone number. We'll ask a few substantive questions. So those questions are, what graduate focused programs would you like to support or develop as part of your consultant role? I went over the programs that we offer a few slides ago. If hired, would you be able to provide academic writing consultations in a language other than English? To quickly clarify this question, we are interested in having a linguistically diverse grad consultant team because we serve a very linguistically diverse graduate student body. Graduate students come from a variety of linguistic backgrounds, and if our grad writing consultants are multilingual, we see that as a huge asset. And so if you are multilingual and if you have a variety of linguistic proficiency, including bilingualism, you should certainly include that in this question on the application because we see multilingualism as a huge strength. But I'll say we are asking folks if they can provide academic writing consultations in a language other than English. So if you have somewhat conversational fluency in a language other than English, but you wouldn't be able to provide a kind of high level academic conversation in that language, I wouldn't suggest that you put that on this application. This is for advanced academic conversation in a language other than English. We'll also ask what in your experience grad students struggle with in their development as writers, and what do you think a significant barrier or challenge is for that, and how might you remedy that barrier or challenge? We'll ask how, in your perspective or experience, what are keys to creating an inclusive and supportive learning environment for graduate students? So for this, there's lots of different answers you might think about. We're looking potentially for how you think about equity, diversity, and inclusion. So thinking about what will create a more inclusive learning environment for graduate students, and what do you think that would be, and what's informing your perspective on that? We'll ask what you hope to gain from your experience in this position as well. What are you looking for? What are you hoping to get out of this job? And then there's 2 document uploads. The first is a CV. So you have your general CV, I'm sure, but if you want to think about what else could go on the CV that would be relevant to this audience, to the Writing Hub audience, we think it's appropriate for you to include any teaching and tutoring experience, any mentoring experience that you have, any kind of campus or community service efforts that you're involved in, and any kind of equity or social justice efforts you're involved in, including self-study. Additionally, if you want to include writing projects that you are working on, writing projects that you have in process, that also would be relevant to include. And then finally, the last upload is a writing sample. This should be a solo author piece of writing that you alone have written, so that we can see your strengths as a writer. It should be in English because, unfortunately, I am only monolingual, so I can only read English, sadly. So we'll ask for it to be in English. And then in addition to your writing sample, we'll ask you to include a brief statement on why you chose that sample and why you think this demonstrates your strengths as a writer. So we'll ask you to sort of provide, I think it's about 200 words or so, on why you think this sample showcases your strength, and ultimately what you're hoping we will see in the writing sample. Here's our timeline for hiring. So the application is now open and it will close on May 2nd. In the first part of May, we'll review applications and we'll notify successful candidates at this stage that they're going on to the interview stage. We'll also notify all applicants at this stage where they are in the process. So for folks who make it to the interview stage, that will be in the second half of May. The interviews will be with 1 candidate and 2 Writing Hub staff. So they won't be group interviews. You won't be having a joint interview with other candidates. They'll be sort of one-on-one, except in this case, it's 1-on-2, 1 candidate and 2 Writing Hub staff members. And then we hope to make notifications to successful applicants by the Thursday and Friday before Memorial Day. So by the end of May, we'll hope to notify folks with verbal offers. Here's where you can find the application. So if you go to academicaffairs.ucsd.edu, and then you can type in this link, or you can just go to the Academic Affairs Open Positions page and search for any of these categories in the appropriate column. And of course, you can just go to the Writing Hub website to get the direct link that you can click on under the Who We Are tab, Employment, and then on that page underneath, How to Apply. You'll see the link posted there. Okay, at this point, we've gone through a lot and you might have questions. So I'd invite you to go back through this video, take note of any questions you still have, anything you want to know, and please reach out to us. You can reach us at writinghub@ucsd.edu. We'd be happy to answer your questions, any questions that you have about applying for the application or employment expectations, etc. So take a minute, think your thoughts, think your questions, and pull open your email, type in writinghub@ucsd.edu, put in those questions and press send so that we can get back to you. All right, have a great day, everybody. Bye.